Hi guys, welcome back to Manga Mono. Anime begins in an arena on an unknown island. A man named Ori arrogantly stands before Stella, the strongest warrior in the arena. It seems he used his power of hypnosis to take control of Stella, which greatly surprises her. Ori commands Stella to drop all her gear and get her kitty cat out. Since she is under his hypnosis, Stella can do nothing but follow what he says, despite how much she doesn't want anyone else to see her precious kitty. Ori then whips out the fresh catfish he caught before the battle and feeds it to Stella's kitty. While doing so, he praises her on how well her kitty devours his catfish. He says it's only to be expected that the strongest warrior in the arena would also have the strongest kitty cat. He also acknowledges that even if it's her kitty's first time eating catfish, it can't be taken lightly because of how her kitty devours it with gusto. When the time is right, Ori's catfish starts oozing out with all of its omega-3 and essential fatty acids. It ends up filling Stella's kitty cat to the brim with nutrition and sends it drooling as it falls into a food coma. After that, Ori tells Stella to be grateful to him for going out of his way to catch a nutritious catfish and feed it to her high-class kitty. Since she's still under the effects of his powers, she gladly does so. The arena that they are in is a huge attraction to many warriors on the island because it promises unfathomable riches. Ori was a powerless nobody until he accidentally found a strange altar while lost in a dungeon. Hanin. There, a mysterious voice grants him the power of hypnosis. Ori lets out an evil grin as he welcomes the life-changing opportunity, promising to use it to get back on all the people who looked down on him and didn't want to show their kitty cats to him because he was a lowly commoner. Ori wastes no time and returns to fight in the arena. The first warrior who falls to his newly gained hypnosis powers is Ellis Angel, a battle nun, and one of the strongest contenders in the arena. Ellis gets caught off guard by Ori as he uses his powers to make her show her kitty cat to him. Despite being under his spell, Ellis's competitive nature still shows as she tells Ori to bring it on because she's proud of her kitty. However, Ellis could not prepare her kitty for the overwhelming experience of tasting Ori's nutrient-dense catfish, freshly caught that day from the pristine waters of the canals in the city's slums. Her kitty ends up salivating uncontrollably as it devours every inch of the catfish. As for Ori, he is savoring every moment of humiliating the proud Ellis in front of the arena's spectators. He is also relishing the ultimate chance of feeding the kitty of someone who is an experienced parent. At one point in the match, Ori stops feeding Ellis's kitty with his catfish, which surprises her. The nun starts to panic, thinking her kitty won't be able to get full nutrition if that is the case. Realizing this, Ori says he'll only continue if she surrenders and declares she has lost the match. Since she now wants to let her kitty finish savoring such a succulent meal, Ellis declares her defeat. With victory at hand, Ori goes all out in feeding Ellis's kitty cat. Of course, when the time is right, the catfish releases all of its omega-3 and essential fatty acids, filling Ellis's kitty cat to the brim with so much nutrition. Ellis is so happy with what happened that she starts frantically stepping on the Legos that the spectators throw on the arena grounds. In the end, Ellis bows her head on the floor before Ori. She graciously thanks him for going out of his way to feed her kitty cat with his freshly caught catfish. While Ori has a drink at the tavern later, the dark elf warrior Viola sarcastically praises his recent victories. She then points out that his recent increase in rankings is unheard of, saying he must be using some strange trick. In response, Ori tells her that if Viola wants to find out, she should fight him. Simultaneously, he also activates his hypnosis power, commanding her to follow a new set of rules. To his surprise, Viola questions why there would be a new set of rules. Tudiamoso. Nervous, he starts to wonder if his hypnosis powers don't work on dark elves. When they finally fight, Ori starts to panic because he fears his powers won't work on Viola. He desperately tries to activate his power while Viola launches her attack, and it works. Ori discovers that if he locks eyes with the target, he can cast a stronger level of hypnosis, and it's strong enough to ignore the resistance of someone like Viola. In a split second, Ori doesn't only control Viola, but also manages to stop time for her. Defenseless, Viola can do nothing but prepare for what her opponent has planned. As for Ori, he tells the spectators that they're in for a treat. He starts by getting a good grasp of Viola's personality. He then starts petting her kitty cat, which starts salivating uncontrollably after smelling the scent of his freshly caught catfish. He believes that even if he did stop time for her, Viola would be able to feel everything that's happening. After that, Ori goes on to give Viola's kitty cat a taste of his now famous nutritious catfish. While that happens, Viola expresses her disbelief that a lowly human like Ori is actually feeding her high-class elven kitty with some cheap fish from the slum's canals. Eventually, because the time is right, Ori catfish fills Viola's kitty to the brim with its omega-3 and essential fatty acids. For the finisher, he lets Viola's time start running again, and when it does, Kitty Cat feels the effects of the nutritious meal it just ate. The surge of flavors and nutrients overwhelms Viola's kitty, and she ends up convulsing on the ground in happiness, while Ori claims victory. As he leaves the arena later that evening, Ori is ambushed by a mysterious lady. While holding him at knife point, the lady tells Ori to throw his upcoming fight against Stella. Realizing that she wants to protect her reputation as the strongest warrior in the arena, Ori agrees. However, he tells her that he will have fun first before losing. So when Ori and Stella finally meet in the arena in the present day, he doesn't hesitate to use his power on her. He doesn't hold back at all, and feeds her kitty cat with his nutritious catfish like there's no tomorrow. Of course, when the time is right, his catfish releases all of its omega-3 and essential fatty acids, driving Stella's kitty full to the brim with nutrition. Content with the fun he's had, Ori delivers his part of the bargain and throws the match. After their battle, Stella confronts Ori again. It seems she isn't happy about what happened during their fight. Even though she won, she can't really remember what happened, so she wants to have a rematch. Of course, Ori happily accepts and uses his powers on her again. The two later find themselves in the arena, with Stella presenting her kitty cat before Ori again. Ori tells Stella that her kitty is weak and malnourished. That is why he plans to feed it with his nutritious catfish to get it plump once again. Ori spares no effort in ensuring that Stella's kitty cat is well fed that night. Although she doesn't like the idea that her high-class kitty is being fed some cheap fish from the slums, Stella can't deny how nutritious Ori's catfish is for it. Naturally, when the time is right, the catfish releases all of its omega-3 and essential fatty acids, once again filling Stella's kitty to the brim with the nutrition it needs. The next day at the tavern, Ori is once again confronted by Viola. Like before, she accuses him of cheating and using some cheap tricks to achieve his current status in the arena. Ori finds Viola's behavior amusing and points out that, while she acts like he's beneath her, she wants her kitty cat to feed on his catfish again. He uses his hypnosis powers on her again, suggesting that she should just be honest and say what she really wants. Viola does her best to resist Ori's power and quickly leaves, saying she'll let him go for now. Not long after that, Ori finds Viola by the forest trying to calm down her drooling kitty cat. Since he's a kind person, Ori pulls out the catfish that he just freshly caught before going there and asks if she wants a hand. Although Viola says she doesn't want to, she actually starts reaching for the catfish and starts preparing it for her kitty. Eventually, she can no longer hold back and lets her kitty devour Ori's freshly caught and nutritious catfish. As Ori continues to feed Viola's kitty, he demands that she apologize for mocking the catfish as something cheap and unworthy of her high-class elven kitty. Since she can no longer live without Ori's catfish, Viola wholeheartedly apologizes to him for the way she belittles such a nutritious fish. Ori is happy to hear this, and as a reward, he ensures that his catfish fills Viola's kitty cat to the brim with all the nutritious omega-3 and essential fatty acids that it has become so popular for. A few days later, Ori is with Alice and her husband, who have approached him about Alice's kitty cat. It seems Alice feels like her kitty isn't performing so well lately and wants Ori to help her get it back in shape. Alice's husband says that Ori is such a nice guy to help out and tells Alice to listen and do whatever he says. Being the helpful man that he is, Ori spares no effort in helping Alice get her kitty cat back in shape. They spend the rest of the afternoon feeding it with his nutritious catfish freshly caught from the slum canals again. The two even find themselves outside so they can feed Alice's kitty while it savors the vibe of nature around it. Sure enough, when the time is right, Ori lets his catfish fill Alice's kitty with its omega-3 and essential fatty acids until she's overflowing to the brim with the nutrition it needs. After that afternoon with Alice, Ori gets an invitation from the higher-ups of the guild that runs the arena. It seems they are aware of his ability, but clarifies that they aren't there to judge him for his actions. On the contrary, they actually want to back him up as one of their official fighters in the arena and provide him with all the support he needs. They tell him to ask the mysterious woman who told him to throw his fight with Stella earlier. Realizing he will now be a protege fighter of the arena's top brass, Ori can't help but let out a wicked smile. He believes these new changes will make things a lot easier for him. While that happens, the mysterious woman behind him also lets out a smile. It's as if things are going according to her plans. And guys, please in the end, don't forget to support us with a like for the video and algorithms say you will like this videos.